Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 27th to July 3rd, 2022. This is a general reading with messages that Sagittarius needs to hear. The roles of the individuals and energies identified in this reading may be swapped, so take whatever messages resonate and leave behind for others the messages that do not resonate. To get a broader view of the week, check out readings for your sun, moon, and rising signs. So we'll go through each of these columns, the meanings of the cards, and further clarify with more tarot cards. In this first column, we reveal what has been shaping your perspective. You have Descendant, Invitation, Six of Cups, Three of Swords, and the Sun. In this second column, we see which major life lessons are impacting you the most this week. You have this Trust card and this Sacrifice card, which is the equivalent of the Hanged Man. You also have Seven of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords. In this third column, we get messages from your guides and guardians. You have Bridget with a message about inner strength. You have Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords, and Two of Swords. So a lot of mental processes going on there, problem solving, that sort of thing. So here, this concept of invitation, what's been shaping your perspective, this has to do with how you kind of invite other people into your life, in terms of your relationships with them, your communications with them, and the concept there is making sure that you are not necessarily kind of taking aspects of others as a way to avoid developing those aspects in yourself. Like, for example, if you tend to get into relationships with people who are really good at expressing their emotions and talking through things and relying on those people to be the initiator of all emotional or tough conversations and not carrying that load yourself. It's almost as if you would be kind of substituting that aspect of that other person into what you have. So it's kind of making sure that you don't see others as being a part of you in that way, or extension of you, and seeing others as being their own person and not just filling a void that you might have, or a talent that you aren't really skilled at. It's making me think of, like, if you are friends with someone who's a chef only because they are a chef and you don't like cooking, that type of thing. But here it's kind of goes both way in making sure that you aren't being the substitute for someone else as well, that you don't give away your power, and that you don't fulfill a void in other people if they are not wanting to work on filling that void themselves. So maybe as I go into these cards a little bit more, it'll kind of make more sense. So you have the Three of Swords. That is a sense of pain, loss, upset, disappointment. Three of Swords. Now swords indicate element of air, the mental processes, communications, something. It's almost as if there was a problem that you had, expectation that something would solve that problem, and that expectation didn't come to fruition. And that problem could be anything from moving to a new location would make it that you met more people and that didn't work out, or even that the expectation was if you get in a relationship with someone, you know, be happier, and that relationship didn't work out, or something along those lines. Here you have Six of Cups and the Sun, and these cards indicate a sense of innocence. And the Sun, the traditional Sun card, there is like a nude child riding on a white horse with open arms and just smiling, and that's a sense of innocence and purity. So with the Six of Cups, there's some kind of concept of like nostalgia. So to some degree, it's has to do with feeling a sense of loyalty, even with the dog there. Concepts of loyalty, concepts of innocence, and also some type of healing that needs to be done. And it may be that this thing of invitation is having you kind of reflect on the things that you maybe even took for granted when you were growing up, and possibly a sense of innocence that you feel that you gave to someone or was taken from you. So let's take a look at the Three of Swords. You have the Ten of Wands. So it kind of indicates that you took on like a burden for someone, or were trying to help someone carry their responsibilities and their burdens, and in the end it could be that this situation or the individual that you're trying to help didn't help you in return, or let you just take on all the burden of something, and kind of left you high and dry. So let's take a look at the Sun here. So these two wanted to come out. You have the King of Swords and Knight of Pentacles. So the King of Swords here, it's very much active energy, power, authority, making plans, being the person that says the right things, And with the Knight of Pentacles, this is someone that's kind of learning something. So to some degree, it's almost a sense of this Sun here is, it's not necessarily a card of joy and happiness, as opposed to a card of enlightenment and bringing things to light. And this may be a sense of how you learned about relationships and power, positions of power when it comes to relationships. The person that is, in charge and kind of what they say goes. This can be, a parent figure, this could be a boss. And then the person that is just learning and trying to do their best and trying to, make heads or tails of something, and kind of following the lead a little bit. So let's take a look at the Six of Cups. You have King of Cups, another king. So this is a card of emotional stability, being a shoulder to cry on, someone that is compassionate, loyal, and to some degree, it could be that this Ten of Wands kind of indicates that for other people, you have been the one that's loyal. You've been the one to take on the burdens of other people. You've been the one to be the shoulder to cry on and help other people heal, and been the light for them, and have been the person to really possibly sacrifice your own sense of security. But here it's a sense of also just maybe, not really having boundaries to kind of recognize, this is your situation, this is my situation, this is where you can safely, leave your baggage. This is where my baggage kind of meets your baggage, versus just letting everyone kind of bring their baggage and dump it onto you. And this could be, it could be working the opposite, where other people have done that for you. But that's kind of the sense. If you are feeling in a place of pain and loss, it may be that you reach on to others that are more strong and have a plan, to move forward. And it could be that other people who are, constantly finding themselves with one bad situation or the other, if you are providing them that sense of strength, then it may be that you are kind of giving too much of yourself. So here, this concept of sacrifice comes up, and this concept of trust. So this is the major life lessons that are impacting you the most. So here you have the Knight of Pentacles again, and you have the Seven of Swords, which is kind of like the liar, stealer, cheater card. And then you have the Seven of Wands, which is a sense of standing your ground and inner conviction. Seven of Swords can be a card of imposter syndrome, or not wanting others to see the path that you're on, whereas the Seven of Wands is pretty much letting everyone know what they believe and kind of what they advocate for. And sevens in general have to do with test and examination. So it's kind of learning about who is it that you trust, what do you trust, seeing things from a different perspective. And with the Knight of Pentacles here, needing to really see, get a sense of trust, a sense of what you believe versus what you believe and what you're willing to show others versus what you want to hide or what others hide from you. With the Knight of Pentacles, it is a sense of this has been an ongoing process of trying to figure out a sense of the value that you have for yourself and what you want for your own future, and what the environment would look like when you have everything you want for yourself, for others. It's a very slow process as well, especially when you have the Sacrifice or Hangman card. It may feel that you're not really advancing, but just being tested. And so let's take a look at the Knight of Pentacles. You have the Hierophant, and this is a card of learning, teaching, connecting to something that is greater than yourself, and having a sense of faith, sense of trust. Let's take a look at the Seven of Wands. You have the Eight of Wands. So with the Eight of Wands, this is kind of part of advancing, progressing forward and speaking your truth. Eight of Wands can be seen as messages, quick, fast messages. So it's almost making me think of like when you need to tell someone something really quickly to explain something, telling them the truth is the easiest thing to do, as opposed to like not telling the truth, which usually ends up being very convoluted and long-winded and get lost in the weeds. So you have the Strength card here. So to some degree, it's a sense of courage and self-acceptance. So with this Seven of Swords, it's almost as if you are the situation over here, how you connect with others, how your tendency to either give too much or take too much is almost kind of cheating yourself out of certain experiences, certain life experiences, even building certain connections with others and something that's greater than yourself. So here, in terms of the messages from your guides and guardians, this message of inner strength that says, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. Bridget here is a keeper of the light that has to do with fire, spring, with strength. You have the strength card here. So to some degree, it's a card of really needing to see a situation in a new light. With the Ten of Swords, it's as if the way that you've been thinking about a problem, trying to solve a problem, kind of comes to bite you in the butt, or that you trusted the wrong person. And that kind of seems to be a theme of, reliance, trust, expectations, and things that are not exactly what they seem. So with the Two of Swords, this is a sense of being at a crossroads and not really able to make a decision, but it seems that this concept of moving back to wholeness and recognizing the powers that you do have will help you to regain some clarity about a situation, or a clarity about how you interact with others, with how you try to solve a problem in a certain way. So here, this Brigid card, it may be that you have relied on others and only taken on certain things that you felt you could handle, and maybe even limited yourself to a certain degree. Maybe if you were the one relying on other people, you had to kind of make sure those people would be there to help you, and if others relied on you, then possibly making sure that you could handle their extra baggage as well as your own. But here it's a sense of going through this change and embracing all the different ups and downs, what you learned in this process over here, and kind of wherever you've kind of wasted your efforts, wherever you weren't focusing them on yourself, to refocus them for your best and highest good. So let's take a look at the Ten of Swords over here. You have the Fool. So it kind of indicates that there's an opportunity, to really experience this new dawn, to have a new approach to how you look at life. The Fool is kind of similar to the Sun, and in the sense of that child on the horse really opening their arms to experiencing life, and accepting everything that will come your way, and whether you have the ability to rise to the challenge or not, it's as if that doesn't matter, that you will find a way when, if something's coming at you, if you have to make that decision, if you have to make that answer quickly, then you're going to turn to your inner truth, your inner strength, and it'll give you a sense of kind of like with that sense of clarity here. So let's take a look at the Ace of Swords. You have the Chariot, and so here this is really going to help you on whatever journey is next for you, being able to advance your will, and there's opposing energies that you come across in your journey, shaping those energies in a way that you stay true to yourself and you continue on your path, on your goals. So let's see about the Two of Swords. You have the Magician, and this is that sense of wholeness, that power that you have, that kind of sense of well-roundedness. So here we start out with this concept of filling the void for other people, or other people filling the void for you. Here with the Magician has all four elements, Wands, Cups, Pentacles, Sword. They have confidence. They are aware of their surroundings. They are able to communicate clearly what they want, so that they can manifest that into reality. So here it's a sense of really focusing on your connection with your journey, with your surroundings, and really focusing on focusing on the next steps, being intentional and learning from it. And it might feel slow, it might feel that you're not getting anywhere, but recognizing that trusting in yourself, trusting in your abilities to protect yourself, and to be supportive of others, but not taking on their baggage, that will allow you to really step into your power and enjoy the next chapter of your life. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of your week, and we'll see you next time. Take care.